It's Wednesday, October the 2, 2024. Yeah, it's Wednesday and I'm just starting the video. I've just been extracting till now, but I finished extracting yesterday. There's still honey in the tank to pail, and there's still honey in the system to get in the tank and pail. I'm running out of pails too, so it's getting tight. But you know, the crop is really way more than I ever expected, and I'm very much humbled by those who helped me out this year. You may or may not recall last year's crop was a very good crop. It was 12,000 pounds last year. I can't remember how many colonies that was. That was quite a few. Well, it was 175 went into the building, but a lot of those are nukes, so they may or may not produce any honey, and if they do, it's not a full complement of honey on a nuke. However, this year, kind of the same story. There's 30, I think I have 38 six framers out here. And a lot of those did produce honey. Some of them didn't produce any because they were just made up later in the season. And my harvest this year will be in excess of 11,000 pounds. So just saying that, you know, humbles me, because it's all because of you guys, and my friends around here helped me out. One of the little jokes is that that's over 3,600 pounds per colony if you count the colonies that survived winter. This was only 3 of them. So anyway, surviving winter is partly why I'm out here. These big colonies with the big pails, I think they've had enough syrup for the season, but the little guys haven't. So the little guys on the far side with the little gallon pails, I think they need one more pail. So I'm going to fill those up, or at least fill up as many as I can, because I think I need to make more syrup to do that. I've got about this much syrup, which I think that's 100. That's 200. That's 200 liters. So 200 liters, if you say I have 38 to fill, let's say 40, just for easy math, and there's 4 liters per pail. So that's 160. So 200 liters may do it. I'm going to find out here in a minute. So I've got the feed hose stretched out here into the apiary. It's very sunny, so I can't really see the screen very well. So I've got the feed hose. All the small pails are on the other side. And I'm going to go and grab my veil, just because sometimes I pull that lid off, especially in a cool weather. It was 9°C when I came out here. It's much warmer now. It's quite sunny, but sometimes they come at you when you take that lid off. I don't have my tripod handy, so this is just walking around filling pails. Not very interesting. So I'll pick you up in a little bit and let you know what's going to go on. Well, I'll fill you in on what didn't happen. My life got complicated last week. I wanted to do another round of formic acid on Thursday and Friday, but Thursday seemed a little too early, and Friday I had to go to Winnipeg for the day, and Saturday I thought, well, okay, Saturday got kind of complicated. It was a really good day, but it filled up with other stuff besides formic acid, and by the time Sunday came along, I thought, you know what, that's almost a week. I don't know if I want to do that, stretch that shut down even further. So I think I'll go into oxalic acid vapor here soon, but I'll grab a few samples. I'll sample a few of the colonies that we sampled earlier and see, you know, what the change is, if any, and then get out the oxalic acid. I know oxalic acid is Very, very effective. In my opinion, oxalic acid vapor is one of the most effective at killing ferritic mites. The biggest problem with oxalic acid vapor, the thing that will make it not work, is the presence of sealed brood, because the effectiveness of oxalic acid vapor is very short. It's just kind of a shotgun blast, and that's it. It's got about 24 hours, a couple days, and then it's not going to kill any more mites. So that's why people often do round after round. They'll apply it, and then about 4 days later, 4 or 5 days later, they'll apply it again to get those mites that continuously appear out of the sealed cells. Now, I understand that the founder's mite, when the mites come out of the cells, they need to latch onto the bees and feed for a period of time before they can go back in the cell to reproduce. So you have that window then to get rid of them while they're not in the cells. So I think that's going to be my method. And also, night before last, I got a video of that bear at my out yard again. It doesn't look like the bear touched anything, but it just makes me, anxious about getting those bees home. That's really the best way to protect them. Let's get those bees home and put them inside this fenced area here. So that's the update for now, and I'm just going to feed these bees and then we'll go from there. Thanks for watching. It's Thursday, October the 3, 2024. And it's a rather cool Thursday. Not cool enough for long pants, but it's pretty cool. Today's forecast high was, I think, 10 or 11 C, and that's right around 50 F. It's really sunny right now. I was counting on a little more overcast skies, and you say, well, why was I wanting it to be colder? I've been waiting for today. I've been waiting for this weather to open the sea can and get that organized. But I don't know if you can see, there's still honeybees showing interest even now. So I'm hoping that the accumulating cloud here continues to accumulate and it gets a little less sunny. That'll send the honeybees home and make my job a whole lot easier. And what I have to do here is I have to unload the whole sea can and get everything back in it in an organized fashion, so A, I can get it all in, and B, in an organized fashion so that what I'll need last is at the back. And of course we all know that never happens. You can plan as best as you can, and then at some point you say, gee, I wish I had the stuff that's at the back. So unload the sea can again. So this is where I'm really going to take advantage of my new Honey Super pallets. You can just see the end of one of them here. It holds a cube of 4, and they're 40.5 long and 23.5 wide. So you may or may not remember, if you watch my woodshop videos, 33.5 wide. That's as wide as a two-way pallet. So basically, they're just two-way pallets. The advantage here, and the reason I didn't build these 10 years ago, 9 years ago, is that I thought, no, I'll just keep building two-way pallets and use those. Problem is, a two-way pallet, I can't lift that up from the side. And you see that I've built these with cutouts, so I can lift these up from the side with my tractor. So what that means is I can put them in the other way, and they go end to end sideways in the sea can, and it's far more efficient than putting the two-way pallets in the other direction. I can't lift two-way pallets up. It just doesn't work that way. So what's going to happen is I'm planning to stack the boxes 5 high, and then I'll put another pallet with 4 high on it. I could fit 10 high in the can here if they're not on pallets. If they're on the floor, or even on, I think on one pallet I could put 10 high. 2 pallets I can't put 10 high in there, won't quite fit. So it's going to have to be 5 and 4. 5 and 4, not 4 and 5, because I can't lift 5 that high with my little tractor. It's a great little tractor, but there are limitations. The other thing I want to accomplish is during the summer, if you recall my great loss of bees last winter, there were a lot of feed frames left over. So what I did was I took all the feed frames and I stacked them in the sea can along the wall here. I don't regret doing that, but it did cause a mess because in the hot weather the feed started leaking out them and I've got syrup everywhere in there. So this is why the truck is here. That's why the trailer is here. Trailer, I put my second tote on the trailer and put a bunch of water in it. I've got my gas-powered pressure washer here. Once I get everything out of the sea can, pull the truck and trailer up here and give that sea can a nice wash. And I believe the sea can is sloped toward the door. I'm sure it is because the syrup was running out the door this summer. It wasn't running to the back. So that's today's job. And I've got all the boxes that are in here. Another little job I have to do. Well, firstly, I'm going to label these. I'm going to try to label these so that I don't have to look through the frames to kind of figure out what's on that skid. I don't want to mix the skids. I have 4 different kinds of frames. I have honey frames. What's a honey frame? A honey frame is a nicely drawn frame that does not have black foundation and doesn't have has not been in brood chamber. It's just a nice clean honey frame. Then I have what I call clean black foundation frames. So that's the same kind of thing as a honey frame, except it has black foundation. So the why I would want to differentiate that is I'd like to have black foundation in my brood chambers. If I'm doing splits or adding frames to a brood chamber, I want to add something with black foundation. I'm not going to take my honey frames for that because they don't have black foundation. Third category is brood frames. So anything that's had brood in it. So there's brood staining. It might be fully dark. It might have a patch of dark. So those are brood frames. And then I have a few skids of what I call rework. Last year I called it rewax, but it's a little more broad than that this year. It's just frames that I want to look at again. They could be brood frames, it could be honey frames. Maybe the uncapper kind of raked the comb off of it and I want to add some wax to that to redraw it next year. Maybe the frame is broken and I want to fix it or just change the foundation out to a new frame or something like that. So those I want on the outside because I want to look at those first, either this fall or next spring, probably next spring. So the brood frames, and there's quite a few of those, I want to spray with a product called Sertan. Sertan is a product that will protect the comb from wax moth larvae. It's a larvicide, so it doesn't do anything to the adults, but it keeps, once the adults lay the eggs don't turn into anything, they die. So I want to spray that with Sertan. I've sprayed a number of them. I've got a bunch of them over in the yard still. The brood frames that are in here I want to spray, and yeah, to get those put away. And then Sertan, I'm kind of mixed feelings about Sertan. It's pretty easy to use, and I feel that as I'm using it, it's giving me a good feeling. It's giving me a relief that that these aren't just going to be junk frames in the spring. No, it doesn't really save me money because it's a bit costly. However, it saves me work. It saves me, cleaning up those frames, maybe rendering them off, washing them, re-waxing them. You saw me doing a lot of that this spring. And so that's what it saves me. It allows me then to then take these undamaged frames and just reuse them next year. And I might start running more doubles again. I kind of enjoyed that. We'll have to see how doubles go in the spring if I hate it too much. But later on in the season, I kind of like the doubles. Now, if I do run doubles, the reason I bring that up is I'm going to need a lot more brood frames. So I want that comb available. So enough talk. I need to get at this. And little orange buddy has got to haul everything out of that sea can. There's some stuff in there that's not even on pallets, so I have to go and fetch some pallets. I'll give you a view this way. So for context, The apiary is just past the apiary camper building there. This here is what was the apiary up until spring 2022. And you may remember, if you're a longtime viewer, what happened here. This all flooded out. And so I moved the apiary just up the hill to the south of here. The advantage here is it has a nice north wind block and it has a nice west wind block and a little bit of east. The new apiary is far more open. Yeah, so, you know, I do kind of miss having this area. It's a very nice area, but it's a little too low. And this is a much better area that way. It's pretty well, those trailers actually are on the highest part of my property. So the apiary is up in that area. All right, I got to start unloading this sea can. This is not going to be very interesting to you, but you know, that's what I got to do anyway. So the reason I point this out is I just mowed some of these weeds off, just so I have places to put all these pallets, because I need room for the big truck in here once I get the sea can empty, so I can wash it out. Okay, thanks for watching. Okay, so this is a visual on what I'm trying to do. This is really, really hard to do. Factors that make it difficult are little tractor just struggles to lift this much weight that high. And these skids here aren't even as heavy as some. Some of the ones that have, you know, were more broody frames, they're much heavier. And also you can see I've got them right together in the middle and then space on the side because I mentioned the mower. And even with that space, I'm having a really hard time. The mower is just really binding on the side. So yeah, I have to keep going at this, but that's what's going on. I've got some scrap cardboard here just so that when I set this skid on that one, you know, this thing's been sitting on the ground and it might be sitting in the mud or something. So I've got that just to keep things clean. Okay, well, this is going to take a long time yet, so I'm going to keep going at it. Now, I know there's been people asking about the mite situation, and I just wanted to update you on that, which there's really no update. Last week didn't go the way I wanted, and I had planned to do another round of formic acid on Thursday. Of course, I didn't get it all done on one day earlier in the week, so I didn't want to do it all on Thursday, but I do the out yards on Thursday, do the home yard on Saturday. Couldn't do Friday because I was away. Well, none of that happened. And by the time I had the chance to do it, it was Sunday. I'm thinking, you know what? I got to let these bees have a break from this. And so I decided to give up on it and then do some washes. But guess what? I didn't get washes done either. I thought maybe today I could do some washes. I won't get washes done tomorrow either. Busy again, off to city and whatnot. So yeah, so I don't really have any numbers, any updates for you to share. I don't recall if I talked about it, but what had happened is the bees were sampled on the 27th of August and then again on the 20th of September, and there were some things at play there. I got in 2 rounds of formic acid in that time period, but it was a week apart, so it was a little bit too long. I should have gone for like 4 days, maybe 5. So there was that. Plus, there was a lot less brood in September than there was in August. So I think as the number of the bees in the colony shrink, because the cluster is shrinking at that time, and also the sealed brood is shrinking. So more mites on the bees, more mites out of the cells by the September wash, and less bees to go around per mite. So the mite counts actually increased by just over 3%. I don't know if that's anything really super crazy to worry about, but it did. So I got that one more round of formic acid, and when I can get another wash done, I probably won't wash 20 colonies like I did before, but I'll wash a few. I'll wash a few of the same ones just to compare and see where we're at. But I will likely do a few rounds of oxalic acid vapor anyway. As soon as the workload lightens up here a little bit. I'd like to do that after I move my bees home, but that's not as much of a big deal now because, as you may recall, I mentioned months ago, I got a new Instant Vap Mini. I think they call it a Mini. It's the one that doesn't have the digital readout thing. It just has the flashing light on it. So I have yet to use it. But now that I have that, doing oxalic acid vapor in my outyards is not an issue because I don't have to haul the generator around, stringing cords and everything. I just have to make sure I take lots and lots of batteries. Yeah, it doesn't use as much battery as I anticipated it would, from what I'm told. But, have to make sure everything's charged up really good. So that is where I'm at with that. So I'm off to Winnipeg again Friday. So I probably won't do an update then either. I'll turn the camera around and let you get a look at what I'm up against. This is one skid deep. These are the first 4 that I've put in. So I'll show you what I'm up against here. So I've got my boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes. Oh, and there's boxes and boxes and boxes that I have to put away. And it's getting on. What is it? It's 5 o'clock. So you think, well, it's only 5 o'clock. Well, this will take a while yet, but it's actually cold. I'm in short pants and I'm quite cold. So I kind of running out of day. Like I told my wife, she's come out to help me to sort things around and whatnot. I told her I feel like I'm running out of day before I run out of work. So got to get at it. As always, thanks for watching. Take care and have fun.